evening and hello. My name is Renee D. Waring, and I am the founder of Uniquely and Wonderfully Made Ministries. Welcome to you all, and a special welcome to the new members of my community. I am glad to be able to meet with you today. We here at Uniquely and Wonderfully Made Ministries purpose to change the hearts and minds of the public by putting forth evidence to support the assertion that people who have mental illness have value. The title of my talk today is Mental Illness Among Native Americans and Indigenous Communities in the U.S. Part 2. The barriers that people encounter to mental health treatment will be discussed in this article. There are barriers of rural and isolated locations. Not all Indigenous people live in isolated rural areas. The few mental health services that exist for Indigenous people are located on rural reservations. This includes clinics and hospitals. The problem is the majority of Indigenous people live outside of tribal areas. Most Indigenous people mistrust the government and their services. About 43% of Indigenous people in the U.S. are on Medicaid or public coverage. However, as a result of the government's mistreatment of Indigenous people, they do not trust the services provided by the federal government. Often, healthcare providers have no connection or experience with Native population. Therefore, it is impossible for them to provide culturally competent services for the people. Many Indigenous people do not have health insurance coverage. About 14.9% do not have coverage, which is over 3 times more than the white population, which is at 5.9%. Mental health care provided do not have competent treatments for Native people. Many members of this community hold a fundamentally different understanding of mental health than their quote Western unquote counterparts, and therefore may not see the value in the treatments offered. There are very few mental and behavioral health programs that can provide treatment in a culturally, spiritually, and traditionally appropriate manner. Part of the issue is due to the lack of clear, consistent, and measurable definitions, meaning that programs modified for Indigenous communities often do not meet the criteria to be designated as, quote, best practices, unquote. Additionally, those who have intent to be culturally competent must have extensive training in spirituality and traditional values taught to them by a qualified elder, which can be a long process. And lastly, changing money for provided services is contrary to traditional practices who provide service for free. There are large barriers to mental health treatment. Approximately 3,072 Native people speak a language other than English at home. Language traditions are especially strong in the American Southwest, and in Alaska, nearly 200,000 individuals speak Navajo and Yupik. 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 There are many areas where differences in language are important considerations for treatment. For example, the words depressed and anxious are absent from native languages. Many speakers quit communicating when they can't get the true meaning of what the provider is trying to say. When indigenous people were removed from their lands, a high rate of poverty among these populations was the result. In the US, 10.5% of the total general population lives in poverty. However, of the indigenous population, over 26.6% of the people live in poverty. Of these poverty Of those in poverty, many live in tents without running water, electricity, or food. Additionally, indigenous people are most twice likely to be unemployed. Thus ends my presentation for today. I hope that you found my presentation to be both interesting and informative. My next presentation will be on the first Friday of next month. Watch my video and invite someone else to watch it too. I would like for everyone to join my community. Fill out the pop-out contact form on my website with your name and email address order to receive 2 free educational videos per month on hot topics on mental health. You can also view my videos on my website. The site address is www.uniquely and wonderfully made ministries.com. I repeat, www.uniquely and wonderfully made ministries.com. You can also view my 2 educational videos a month on my YouTube channel, which is called Renee, Reneed, as in Donna, Warring, Warring. Please subscribe and share. My email address is mirecovery74@gmail.com. I repeat, M as in Mary, I as in ice, the word recovery, RECOVERY @gmail.com. I repeat, MIRECOVERY 74 @gmail.com. Send me your questions, concerns, and prayer requests. I would love for you to invite me via my email to come and speak to your group on hot topics on mental health. Please include your name, the name of your group, email address, website address, street address, and telephone number. I am the founder of Uniquely and Wonderfully Made Ministries. My name is Renee D. Warring, and I am the Warrior Warring.